Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the last video we have seen how we can add few environment variables and environment details in the report, like browser name, which environment you are running, and the platform details. And before that we have seen how we can add logs in your steps. So each scenario we have seen, right? Whatever we do, perform basic operation like performing a click or entering the text, or setting the data. So all this, entering the data, selecting a value from drop down, for all this, right, step, we have log enabled, and wherever we have log, we can see we will be able to expand it, right? But few steps, that is for then step, wherever we do have assertion, we don't have any extra log added, right? It is whatever we have in our scenario, that is only is showing here, but not added logs is not there. So in today's video we are going to discuss how we can add log for the assertion step as well. So let's explore it. I'll stop this report, I'll clean this. Now what we'll do, let's see the step definition, because in step definition only we have assertions, right? So we'll go by one. In app we don't have any assertion, we have in E2E. So let's see assertion step. And if you see here, we have these assertions, right? Expect to contain, expect to equal, and expect to equal, and then there are similar here also, to contain and to equal. There is two type of assertion. Now for this there is no steps logging. What we will do now, let's create a utility called assertion, and let's add a few steps there. So I'll just create file name assertions.ts. I'll say class name assertion, and I'll export it so that it will be visible to outside class. Sorry, assertion, right? That's how we create a class and make it visible to outside so that export it, right? Now what we will do for these assertions that we are performing here, that is to contain and to equal. Let's create two assertion. So what I'll do, I'll make it same name, to contain. Okay, so to contain will have actual value, which will be a string, and one more is expected, that also will be a string. And when we do actual assertion, what will be our assertion? This will be our assertion. Here I'll just copy paste, and instead of status I'll change it to actual, and for this complete, I'm just keeping the same assertion here, but instead of writing the actual assertion, I'm thinking I'll pass when I'll call this function actual, whatever your actual value and whatever you're expecting. Now this will do the assertion, which will not do anything more than what it is doing here. We have created this function to add log, so let's add the log. So we have already created a utility to add a log or other function, if you remember from the last video, which is in the command here, add log, right? So let's make use of this. So after assertion, use this add log and add something here. So here what I'll do, I'll say assertion, you can give colon equal to or anything, I'll give this symbol, and then I'll say dollar in curly bracket actual to contain, and then dollar, and then what is actual value, expected value, right? So once it is validated, it will add a log also in the report that I'm doing assertion, what is the actual value, what is the expected value. And similarly, so for to contain we have created, let's create for to equal as well. So I'll copy this and I'll create one more function. For now it will look like an extra step, but trust me, when your test will grow, you cannot keep on adding logs wherever you have assertion. So these functions will be reusable, and with each step whatever we perform, it will log the report in log report as well. You don't have to write much steps, it will reduce. In this also same thing, actual and expected will be there, and here as well actual and expected. Let's log something like this similar here, but here the wordings I'll change. Here assertion is to equal, okay, equal. Now let's use this. Now, instead of writing this default one, let's use this, right? So we have created to contain and to equal. So for to contain, what I'll do now, I'll call that function, so that is available in assertion class, right? Assertions dot to contain we have created, which expects two parameters, actual and expected. So actual is this, comma, and what is expected, this one. Let's update here, right? This is done. So now we don't need this, and now we have to equal. So for to equal, sorry, assertions equal, this also expects two things, actual comma expected. I'll just copy paste here, replace it, and I'll delete this. This is not required. Similarly for this as well, assertions dot to equal, and your actual is this, comma expected. Expected is this, right? Now we don't need this, let's delete it. Now when you run this, right, you'll have a log for assertion as well, but before running and checking the sample, I'll use the same this copy. I'll just copy this, and we have one more assertion here, right? Same assertion in E to E. I'll just change this. The UI status is same, response dot status code to string is same. Then you have dot name, and then response dot body dot name. I'm just replacing this actual and expected values. Same things are there. Now I'll delete existing one, right? Now let's try to run this and see how assertions are really logging in the report or not. And again, just keep a note, whenever I have created now this function, I did not use async and await because this is not dealing with any promises here, right? It is just a string here. So if you're not dealing with promise, you don't have to create async and await function, async function, right? That is why it's a normal function that we have created. Now let's try to run this E to E. So we have E to E user. For that, our feature file is, if I'll go in this feature regression and then E to E user. So let's try to run and see how the report looks like for assertion as well. The npm test -- spec test features regression E to E underscore user dot feature. Let's run and check. Starting the execution, let it complete all the steps, and then we'll see the report. First one completed, second also looks like completed, yet both steps passed. Now let's generate a report and see the assertion how it looks like. Npm run report is our command to generate a report, and we have seen this in our previous video itself, how we can generate a report. So we are using the same command. So let's check the step. There are two scenarios in this feature file, and that is why two scenarios showing. Now here second is showing in the first. You can click on order and you can sort it by number. Okay, first let's click here and see now for assertion here. Then you see exactly it's logged. This is object. We can fix this. I'll tell you what is the reason. But you see the assertion, whatever we have given, whatever we are trying to validate is logging here. Earlier it was not there. Same for this step as well here, right? This steps to contain this equal to this equal to this, right? This is what we are trying to validate. But if you notice here, this is saying object. It is not giving the exact value that we are, because if you notice here, we are trying to assert one place complete body, which is like a complete object itself. So if you want to print an object properly, you can use json.stringify. It will convert that body object as a string. It will treat that as a string. So if I'll say json.stringify here, and we'll put that in the bracket, sorry, not here, in the bracket. And then if you run again now, so as of now it is object, right? Now let me just stop this report, rerun again the same feature file, and then show you if it is really printing properly or not, rather than printing like this object. Which is just one way that if you are trying to assert the complete object, you can use .stringify, which will treat the object as a string. So let the execution complete. Execution completed. Let's check in the report. I'm connecting a report again, and this time instead of this object, right, it should show the proper assertion. So it should generate. It's taking a bit of time. Starting a web server here, right? So see, this is the previous one which is showing object here. Now in the new execution, and if I'll sort by order and go to 1, and here now you see the complete object is here. Okay, so expected this value to equal and this value, right? So you are getting the complete data rather than keeping just as an object you are getting, right? So this is how you can add a log for assertion. Now let's see one more example of assertion, okay, where we are dealing with the promises as well. So I'll take example of which file. Let's see if we have something in the form step. Do you have any assertion here? We don't have. In home we do have. Yes, we do have here. Now in this we are dealing with promises because we are using await here, right? Because this element returns promise always. Okay, If you notice here, so it deals with the promise. Now for this kind of wherever we have promise means async and await, how we can create a utility for assertion. Now this is for to have text. Let me create one utility. Now when you have the such promise, always create a async function. Okay, and I'll create to have text as a function name, which will expect two things. One, element, it is web element, and another is expected value, expected text. You can say expected text. Expected text will be of string type, but your element, if you remember from the last other videos as well, when we are creating a utility, the type of element is now chainable promise, that is chainable promise element. Inside that, promise of WebdriverIO dot element. It's a little lengthy, but yeah, this is what it is. So I'll just click on here, we'll be able to see the element type will be this, the expected text will be string. Now what I'll do, not this one, this is done, so I'll close this. I'll copy this assertion here and paste here. I'll change this header as an element and expected text will be here. Now let's do the add log as well. So I'll copy this add log and add it here. I'll change the wording here. Now assertion element dot. Now if you want to print the select means XPath or in a selector, if you directly just say element, it will not print the complete only XPath or the element locator. So you have to say selector. Okay, and because this element is dealing with a promise, you have to use await here as well. Okay, and then here expected text. So I'll say assertion this element to have text is what we are asserting, right? Now let's use this instead of putting the default one. So I'll say now we have to use await here because that's an async function. Okay, so assertion dot to have text, header is the element and comma, this is your expected text. So this is the element and this is the expected, that's what I have added here, and now I'll delete this one. Now if you run this, for this also we'll have log added. So let me just try to. Similarly, there are so many other functions available. For example, if I go one by one in file download also, I think we have to contain, but this is not dealing with any promise, so you don't have to create a async function. If I go to form, we don't have any assertion. Then we in login, we do have assertion to be existing and to have. Similarly, we can create for this as well. Okay, so for example, if you want to create for to be existing, it expects only this web element, right? So let's create one assertion for to be existing as well, and for that async to be existing, it will expect an element that is this. I'll just copy it from here. We don't need any expected value, it is just for to be existing. And what I'll do, I'll copy this step from here, assertion, and here this will be an element to be existing, and let's add the log as well. I'll just copy this log and I'll say assertion this element to exist or is existing. I'll say, you can keep your wording as per whatever you feel is right. So this is for to be existing. Now for this we'll create for to have text containing as well. So we have created assertion for to have text. Now let's create to have text containing. Let's just copy this and I'll just change here to contain, and here the function will be to have text containing. Here you have say wording, I'll change to have text containing, right? Create for this as well. Now let's just update this as well, right? So we have created what and all? We have created for to be existing. Let's change for to be existing first. Await assertion, no, sorry, assertion dot to be existing, and you need to give the element. That's it. You can delete this one. Sorry, you can delete this one. And to have text in containing also we have created. So await, okay, assertions dot to have text contain, and then element is this, comma, expected value is this. We don't need this, so let's delete it. Done. This also we have used, this also we have updated, looks good. Let's see one more example. I just want to show you for register. Okay, yeah, for no, not for register, let's show you for file download itself. See, we have this if function is for to have text content. We have already created one assertion here now, to text to contain, right? And this is also file download is also using to contain. So let's make use of this assertion itself and then see if it is working here. So I'll just comment it out and I'll say assertion dot to contain. Now to contain what it expects, actual string and expected here. But in this assertion, we are not validating a string. We are validating a string, array of a string, okay? List of a string. So if we give list of a string with the expected value is nothing but this one, will throw error. See what it say, argument of type string, okay, list of a string is not assignable to parameter string, because this to contains whatever we have created a utility that is only for expecting a string, but here we are trying to pass the list of a string, correct? So how we'll make use of the same function? So if you are coming from Java background, in this situation you will create a overloaded method where your input parameter you can change the different types, but in TypeScript you can give a or condition of type and we can add one more type. So I'll say expect either string or list of a string. So with one pipe we can give or condition. So if you pass a string, it will expect that, accept that, or if you pass list of a string, that also will be accepted, right? Now if you come here, you see the error is gone. So this is one new thing, that instead of there is no direct method available for overloading method in TypeScript. There is a way different, but the easiest way is that you can put pipe which will give or condition, so expect this type or this type, and you don't have to create any extra overloaded method in TypeScript. It is not allowed directly to create, right? So this also we are making use of it. Now let's try to see one example. We have changed so many files. Let's check one example of assertion for to equal, and we have done that in this file. E2 user itself we have done it. We have already seen to equal as well. Let's check for home step where we are dealing with async and with the promises. So let's check for the home feature file and see how the report looks like. So I'll just change the feature file name. I'll run it dot feature. Let's see, and we'll make sure that the assertion whatever we are logging in the report is adding correctly, even though we are handling with the promises. And meanwhile it is executing. See, there are other steps also to update here, because in other steps as well we have some assertion like this. Okay, so I'll upload and update that offline itself. But yeah, the way whatever we have seen in just in the videos, it will be the similar way, so I don't want to repeat the same steps again in the video. So I'll just update that offline. But yeah, you see execution is completed, and if I run the report now, npm run report, we should have a step for this as well, properly logged in the to have text. What should be logged? You see here, have element, that is web element, to have text and some expected value. It should be. Let's open the report, internet homepage. If I select here, and if you see assertion step, asserting dot heading here is web element, and if you're not sure if it is correct or what, see this is what is our web element, correct? And that is what logged here. Dot heading have text. What is the expected text? This is what the expected text. So this assertion with the promise is also logging in the report, and without a promise, that means these normal strings as well logging in the report. Plus we have seen how we can deal with different type of input. So this function will work for expecting a string, or it will work for the list of a string as well. So yeah, that's all for this video. I'll make some changes offline because the steps are exactly same. Thank you so much.